Good morning, everyone. Welcome and Salam Keluarga Malaysia. Welcome to the International University Carnival on e-learning 2022, hosted by University Putra Malaysia and its associate partners, with the theme of innovating education for a better tomorrow. I'm Dr. Raj from the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, University Putra Malaysia. On behalf of the organizing committee, would like to extend our warmest welcome to all to the event. So welcome. Though we are having this virtually, we do hope and we tried our best to humanize this virtual meeting. And I strongly suggest to visit our virtual IUCEL town, in Gather Town. And I guarantee you're going to have a fantastic time in there. So without further ado, to kickstart today's event, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker from Google Cloud Malaysia, Mr. Stephen Lee. So allow me to introduce Mr. Stephen Lee. Mr. Stephen Lee joined Google Cloud Malaysia in October 2021 as a solution consultant where he works to support the education sector in Malaysia. Before joining Google, he was the senior technical account manager in AWS, Amazon Web Services. Stephen has 20 years of experience supporting global enterprises covering various industries such as e-wallet, ride-hailing, telecoms, and video streamings. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please allow me and also join me in welcoming our speaker, Mr. Stephen Lin, who's going to share with us about student success services, reinvent the future of education. Please welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, pagi tuan dan puan, and thanks for having me, and I appreciate for the very eloquent introduction. So there was supposed to be another speaker with me, which is Cedric. He is just like Batman and Robin. He's a Batman, I'm the Robin. So today the Batman is not here because he's on emergency leave. Hopefully this Robin will be able to conduct the training as well as him, and let's hope. I hope you will enjoy of the coming presentation. So. Let me just share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. So today I'm here to share with you on student success service from Google. We'll be covering some of the services that Google have and some of the things that we can do for you. And perhaps after this session on, you can reach out to us so that we can have a session to see how can Google Cloud in particular helps you to scale your operations. So let me just start by taking this opportunity to introduce to Google. And well, maybe some of you haven't heard of it, but Google is actually under a company called Alphabet. So as you can see, Alphabet is separated two characters. We always say alpha and bet. You know, alpha is the first of the character, and bet means you are betting on the future. So we are the first to bet on future. This is a very brief introductory of what we can do, what we do. So as you can see here, and under Google, there's not just Google Cloud. There is plenty of other services. As you can see, we actually have Google Maps, Google Cloud itself, Android, YouTube, and so on and so forth. And aside from that, Google is also inventing on the future, which is something like DeepMind, which is the AI learning platform, and so on and so forth. So I hope this gives you a little bit of a bigger picture of what Google really does and the services encompassed under Google. And this is the Google mission statement. So when you need to search for something, what will you do? You Google it, right? So this is why Google mission statement is to organize the world information and make it universally accessible and useful. In particular, anything you would like to search for, just Google it. This is what we want to do. When you look at this screen, maybe you just see a simple search interface, but underlying this is a whole lot of data centers. Now, these are all data centers right now located around the globe. And all these services exist before we can even offer the search services. Now, imagine this, we start on 1999. At that time of day, practically there is no technology to support such a huge venture we want to achieve, and all this has to be done or crafted by Google itself. So we are proud and we are happy to say that Google has successfully reinvented the web and allows his services to be available to the public at totally free. Okay. So as you can see, just to highlight again, now all this infrastructure that you use daily, YouTube, for example, the Google search, your maps, for example, from one place to the other, and your Gmail, all of this actually operates inside an infrastructure which is called Google Cloud. And this is where I'd like to bring you more, explain to you more a little bit on what Google Cloud does. If you look at our global network, this is how you will see it is crisscrossing the whole world. We have 29 zones around the globe. What does it mean? It means that we have 29 data centers present in 29 countries. And inside this country, we have multiple data centers. Google not just operate the data center, Google also operates you can see all this line over here. These are the network lines. So Google actually operates the cables across the ocean. So interestingly, because of all these cable crisscrossing the ocean, when there is an earthquake, actually Google is able to detect slight variation on the transmission. And because of this, right, Google actually helps to map out the underwater seismic volcano activity because of this. So it's another tidbit of fact that we have. But what I'm trying to say is with this Google Cloud global infrastructure, basically, no matter you're hosted in US and you want to access it somewhere else, or you host in Malaysia, you want a customer to access in Saudi or in Africa, there's not a problem because all this infrastructure is going to go through Google Network to derive at your customer destination. And this is where we call a hot potato or a cold potato. Now imagine on the other typical cloud provider, if you want to transmit something off from one end to the other, they will take the potato or the data and quickly, as fast as possible, they will pass it on to the next person, to the next provider, to the next infrastructure, to the next ISP operator. So why is that? Because they want to offload the data as fast as possible outside of their network and make it someone else's problem. So this is called hot potato. But while in Google, we actually would like to retain the data packet within the Google network itself as much as we can. Why we do that? And I explained earlier in the previous slide, because Google runs its own network operation. Imagine instead of you going to the state road and jam all the way, Google has superhighway in between all the data centers. So we want the data to remain on Google Cloud as much as possible so that the information can cross from one country to the other as fast as possible without latency. So this is why we are very different from the typical cloud provider. And all the things you see here, I explained earlier, Google runs so many services, Google Cloud, Google Pay, Google Search, even your Google Analytics or YouTube. All these are built on the component you see here. We have components, for example, like BigQuery, AI platform, and so on and so forth. So what you see here, the services you use daily, they are actually all built and runs on top of Google Cloud. Right. And enough about Google Cloud as a whole for the many services, but we would like to focus today on the education landscape. So nations overall the globe are partnering with Google for their digital transformation. And I'm very proud and happy to say that Malaysia is the first nation that deployed Google Workspace nationwide throughout all the 5 million students. So again, this is something that we are extremely proud and happy to announce that Malaysia is the first in the world to do that. So there are a couple of models that we use, that we do on this particular arrangement. So from a macro perspective, there are 3 G-Suite deployment structure we use in APAC. So they are nationwide, they are state and city level, and they are hybrid as well. So if you can look at this, I'll just give a quick example. Philippines and Indonesia is following Malaysia footsteps to implement, and this is very, very heartening because then we can see that because of Malaysia's success story, the other countries are slowly adopting to the framework that the MOE has been adopting as well. Okay, now this is how it's been implemented in Malaysia. If you look at this, right, I'm not sure you heard about the LINMA, but I'm pretty sure many of you have been seen it, or even your kids have been using it, for example. So right now, this is what has been going on within the MOE platform. The student will sign on with ID from Google, which is your Google email account. So once you sign on to that, they operate their learning experience on Google Workspace. So in this case, the MOE will be able to track all this information you've seen here, whether is it the Google Classroom usage, any assignment created, the time spent on the meetings, the courses, for example, the student performance, the app access, and so on and so forth. All this data is collected and put into what they call a big query. This big query is, you can imagine, it's like a data warehouse that stores all this data from all the 5 million students. And then we use our models, whether it's AI/ML model or our the analytic portions, to purposely build a dashboard so the Ministry of Education can understand better on and have insight so that they can achieve, let's say, more understanding of the student population and derive better strategy to assist them. Okay, so there's something called a project Albus. In Malaysia, there's a SMK Jalan 4 that is currently adopting this. This is a program to help tailor education to the local context. And there are basically 3 success factors that you can see. We will need the school leadership to help. So in particular, the principal, take for example, in this case, the Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Jalan 4, the principal actually lead from the front at all the critical point and to involve in a handover and training and even complete the education certificate so she can help to lead the student better. And of course, we also need the well-known academic to help in this, in particular, Professor Dr. Noraza, who is promoted to Deputy Vice Chancellor of UPM. And sorry, is there a, I thought I heard some feedback on the ground. Can you hear us?
Please proceed, Mr. Steven. I think it's okay now. Sorry, apologies.
Okay. Oh, no worries. No worries. So of course, we will also need a strong community and involvement from teacher and student. So if there's any feedback cycle required, we can help to improve each other. And I'm here to also give some insight on what is the learning platform on Google Cloud that can help assist on this. So now, because of COVID and because of the changing environment, right now, I believe everybody is experiencing this acutely. A few years ago, and at least in my time, micro-credential is never in the picture. We talk about getting a degree, getting a diploma in a traditional way. Right now, we are looking at a rapid changing job market. And all of us need to upskill and reskill to quickly adapt to it, which is why right now, micro-credential is growing 3 times faster than the traditional program. Now, this is a very big opportunity for institution. Institution cannot take the long time, 3 to 5 years, to create content to launch a class. So think about it. University needs to create a content to train thousands of contact tracer, or that needs to launch a new program about all these new technologies. So this institute can generate and deliver the right relevant content faster with the ones that gain sustainable competitive advantage and differentiation. So what does this mean? This means that we would like to help the content provider, the university, to innovate and to custom-make the micro-credentials so that they can help to catch the wave on this currently. The challenge to serve all types of learners. There are many different types of learners. Institute want to bring a diverse pipeline of talent to their institution. And they wanted to make sure that they can support all types of learners. Now think about the challenge of this. Based on the applicant, her background, competency, and interest, you might be able to recommend the right program for them, whether it's in micro-credential, certificate, or traditional degree. And you must be able to provide that in a reasonable response time. Now, or people will end up enrolling somewhere else. So usually people will log into the portal, they will look for the courses. Now, if they cannot find the course, or if their response is not fast, they will just go look for elsewhere. Indeed, Asylum Market Research report indicates that in 2021, 80% of student enrollment in an institution that respond to them first. So whoever responds first, there's an 80% chance of them enrolling the courses. And this is the challenge that traditional academic model faces. The current system and process has become a bottleneck to provide a personalized learning experience at scale. So institution must create relevant content. Again, I think there's a feedback. Should I stop? Oh, okay. Right. Let me just continue. Institution must create a relevant content much faster to adapt to a rapid changing market and provide personalized learning and 24 hours, 7 times a day, at any time. And of course, to enhance engagement and support to all type of learners. And of course, to provide the intelligent and high touch experience across any channel, be it mobile, online, or in physical class. And all this must be able to scale and process and accelerate decision at the best TCO, which is total cost of ownership. So you can lower the cost of education to attract a diverse population of students. In short, you do more with less. Now, many institutions are trying to solve the challenge today, but they can't. Now, usually this is due to a lot of dependency in a legacy system and processes that work in silo that bring significant operational inefficiency. Relying in these traditional systems and processes are creating bottlenecks that impede them to provide the experience the new type of learners are expecting at scale. And this is why we built Google Cloud Learning Platform to reinvent the future of education. Google has committed to the education since its origin at Stanford Lab. We have more than 140 million of daily students using our platform. And we learned a lot because of all this interaction and over the 20 plus years. We have combined the expertise with our technologies leadership to develop these solutions that's specific on student success. So to help you to adapt to the strategic shift in education, we built this solution along with 4 key focus areas. The first is digital transformation and operation. So we built agility and ensure effectiveness at scale at the best total cost of ownership. And we invent the classroom of the future. We're reinventing the experience and assuring the best academic outcome for all type of learners, regardless of their background or program. This is something that you can see on the UI of Google user interface. We have extensive study so that the font that you see, the color mixture is suitable for all type of students, even those that with a visual impediment that you can't see clearly. So this is all are factored in when we design the whole UI interface. So and the learner insight, we can to learn more about the experience of each type of learner and to predict the academic performance and shift in behavior and preference. And last but not least, job placement, because everything comes to the end that we would like the learners to have to be able to find a job and to improve on their career. So we have a focus area called job placement and alumni engagement. This creates greater return of investment for your learners, and it differentiates your career services and earn lifetime fans that go back to your institution in the future of additional information. So imagine this: you have alumni that keep on coming back to you to learn more and engage more because what they get from the university can propel them further along their career path. So in a glance, the platform must keep data in control of schools, and the platform must support interoperability between tools. It must be multi-cloud. When we say multi-cloud, it means that it can run on your own premise. It can run on Google Cloud. It can even run on other clouds if you have already infrastructure provided, let's say in provision in AWS or Azure. We support interoperability. And also the 21st century learning, we need to represent and measure knowledge, skill, and effect, and mindset. So a foundation program for the future of education. This is what we are advocating, a next generation of Google education platform that helps to engage all type of education data. As you can see from here, we use AI/ML model to collect all this information, all these solutions, and then pass on the data, automation, and engagement to better engage with a student. Now, this is what we call, we bridge the silo to provide the modernized experience. So every student have their own particular needs and wants, their strength and their weakness, and of course, their aspiration as well. So with the solutions, we provide a set of APIs and functionality that helps to develop a specific platform to each and every different user. So you can imagine this will link user with their particular course they want to attend, and so that they can actually get on to a particular degree and enhance their competency that fits into a particular workforce. So as a glance, these are all the solutions that we covered, from the learner portal, content authoring, from registration, enrollment, and all the way to the advisory chatbot. So this will help to provide services from your student from end to end, from onboarding down to their learning experience, and even integrate downwards to their career portal platforms. So here I'm going to share with you how we modernize admission and enrollment at scale. Now think about how this changed the game. Think about, let's say, Stephen, myself, I'm looking into possibility of becoming, before I start my career, I look forward to become a developer. So I can go to your portal or your app to look at all the information about a degree that meets my aspiration and the qualification and competency associated with my competency. And Google Cloud Learning Platform will help your team to automate the pre-qualification of the candidate and personalize the recommendation of a type of program. Let's say I come into a portal, our learning platform will help your team to automate the entire process to pre-qualify Stephen, so I can straight away be accepted in a particular program they offer. And then Google Cloud Learning Platform can also help to automate the part of enrollment process, including any prior learning assessment and credit transfer. This will help to get back to me much faster, and that will create a better experience. So again, this is how the process goes from enrollment all the way, automate from end to end to the enrollment of the particular student. So I'm just going to quickly go through this. So at the back end, as a registrar, now I give you an example of Janet. This Janet processes transfer of application for the registrar online office. She begins her day work by opening her transfer application workflow dashboard. So in this dashboard, you can see all the applicants since receiving by the beginning of the week. So imagine now this Janet using our solutions, you can automate all this process. Each application, each of these 2,000 applications is automatically ingest into our cloud learning platform, and as the information received. In the first pass, the system will verify that application is complete. So any missing info will be rejected or even automate by replying to the student, say, hey, you are missing this, please provide this information. And this includes the transcript of the incoming student. It will scan the transcript, and for each identifies the institution, extract the full set of courses, map each course to the representative degree or certified program at your university, and a set of skills taught by that courses, and create a list of tasks that the admin or student must perform in order to validate credit for each courses. And for about 75% of the applicants are marked ready for approval. So as a registrar, Janet, the intake queue shows 100 new applicants is ready for approval. Now, this is an example of Janet, how they can use our system to automate the entire process. So imagine there's a 2,000 application in a box, and the system can check whether or how many of these applicants is complete, and it will scan the transcript and extract all this data automatically through Vision AI, and then with this links to whatever course you have. And based on this filtering, imagine now 75% of the application, it says, okay, ready for approval. So Janet can just Janet or any of the registrar can just check on their inbox, say, oh, for example, in this Janet bucket, there's 100 new applicants that are ready to approve. She can spend the hours morning just to review that, sending approval, and so on and so forth. As you can see, all this process is done automated without needing very much manual. So the remaining of her queue, for example, after she approved, she can walk through each one of them, and if there's any specific case, you can flag for manual review as well. So again, this is to help to automate the registration process. So if you have many users, many applications coming to register for your open day, we can help you to streamline the entire admission process to make sure that all the applicants can be handled fast and easy. So now, determine the personalized flexible learning path. So once it comes to your learning path building, so every student, we will help to have the opportunity to define their learning goals. So I'm a student. I might have my different aspirations. So some might aspire to be a data scientist in this example, or some student B would like to become a software engineer. So all these have a different kind of learning modules and map to different kind of skill graph. Now, we envision a change to our curriculum to support a competency and skill-centric delivery model, in addition to a degree and course-centric model. The student will be able to specify a learning goal, which could be a job, a career, a degree, or even a single skill. So the university will provide the student a personalized learning path of learning to achieve that learning goal. So when I come to your portal with our platform, I can just say, okay, I want to be a data scientist, instead of which course should I select? I can just say what are desired job, and then the solutions will be smart enough to determine what kind of module and courses, a credit I need, that I'm short for and I need, and based on that, provide a recommendation path and certificate so that I can follow this learning path to achieve my end dream. So it also provide a very high touch experience at scale. So take, for example, Kara is a learning plan advisor. So when the student requests a review of their PLP, in here is personalized learning plan, the request is triggered by automatic learning advisor. So the automatic advisor will handle 90% of this request. Many of those are informational questions about courses. And when the automated advisor can't answer the request, the case shown on the student's dashboard, the Kara can click a button next to the case to record, to schedule for a call the student. So in this case, she can pull out the personalized learning plan or PLP and answer any question the student has and make any necessary adjustment to the PLP for online the student. So I am a student, I have problem with this learning plan. I might say, hey, is this really suitable to my need? Or I might wanted to have another skill set outside of the learning path. I can engage a learning plan advisor, but before that, all the questions can be filtered, answered by a learning Autobot advisor. Now, all that means the actual human interaction will only be needed if there are special cases in here. And how do we modernize the creation and delivery of instructor design content to more rapidly adapt to job market? So this is again how we help to illustrate how can we quickly upskill or quickly help university to change, to adapt to a learning opportunity in the market as well. So imagine if there is due to a COVID-19, there are new jobs emerge. In this case, of course, in US, they actually allow cannabis or marijuana usage. So in this case, there's unexpected event and change in policy that open up new demand in local market. So all this new demand, by using our platform, you can quickly innovate and adapt by creating a new courses that focus on this new rising opportunity. So how can we help to do that? So take, for example, in this case, Jim is the one that creates a new courses. So Jim is an instructional designer for, let's say, a nursing program. So he can design courses on drugs therapy for chronic disease. So you can start by reviewing a skill mix matrix that compares the current set of skills taught in a course to a set of skills to open position identified by Job Insight. So imagine now the solution can actively match what you have in your course with what's actually in demand on the market, and it will do the matching. For example, this kind of matching. And of course, we can also take the feedback from the student. If a student has a particular, let's say, job expertise, he will say that, hey, so-and-so, Jim, I found that your course doesn't have certain skill set that I need for my work, for example. And all this can become under a review section in these particular modules. So Jim can take a note of the gap surfaced by the platform. Let's say our platform determined that for a particular industry, a particular career, there is a gap of knowledge that needed, but not in our current skill set. So he can also notify that if there's any student provide feedback and there is a new learning needed. Now, with all this information, Jim can open up what they call a design, a solution platform. So he can use this design platform to remix and match for a new kind of learning experience, or we call learning objective. So basically, Jim could create a new learning objective, in particular to address this particular new horizon in the job description. And from there, we will match with whatever that the courses material found in your academic content. And from there, it can also automate this by pushing this new job content before becoming a course. It will push this new job content to a subject matter expert that in the repository, and he can review before committing that, hey, this is a good course material for a new subject. And then Jim can commit this particular new course into your study material. So imagine now this solution that we have will actively look at the job market to look for new skill set required and match with your current courses, and then come out with a recommendation, and also automate by sending this particular new content to a subject matter expert for their feedback before committing to build a new course. Now, these are a few examples. We have bottleneck trying to scale. 40 out of 50 states in US, this particular US, but I believe this is applicable in a global. Now, we need education and professor instructor around the globe, especially now with this rapid new growing. So we thought about how can we help professors to become more effective. And if you look at this chart, typically a professor will have invested 2 hours per day in teaching tasks like creating and grading assignments. So we want to use AI-powered tutoring to help offload exactly this kind of repetitive tasks. So you can automate the ingestion of your own content, and interactive tutor will automate the creation of assignment. And this will help to assess student answer automatically and provide a personalized feedback to them. So imagine right now, the professor should focus on more higher value items. So right now, the AI-powered engine will be able to offload that exactly by having automation of the creating of assignment. So what you may think that this will never be the same, and you're right, actually. You will never replace a real tutor, but think about the scaling. Think about the possibility to augment the learning of students at any time and to provide help to those that need it. So this runs 24 hours. You do not need to have someone to, especially if you have global learning, you have, let's say, a student in Dubai or student in a foreign country that operate on different time zone. So with these AI solutions, it actually allows them to go through this particular AI bot to seek advice and help. So these technologies evolve rapidly, and we hope that the next generation of learner can indeed use this, prefer this self-service, so they can welcome the AI-powered assistant learning services. All right, now that I have like to introduce you to our interactive learning tutor. So we have something called an interactive tutor. This is an app that facilitates the automated ingestion of your own learning content, which you can store in either Google Drive or LMS or other EdTech platform. So let's just say if you have a lot of content that you build, this application, this interactive tutor can ingest it. The interactive tutor connects to that ingested content and generate a knowledge graph that permits the automated generation of assignment for every learning unit. So it will automate a particular assignment for every of these learning unit that you have. The content is then delivered to your student through your own application, or even integrate with Workspace or Office 365. So later on, there is some. Yes, sorry, I saw there's a chat there. Oh, all right. I can provide that later on after I pass it on to Cedric. So do feel free that after this presentation, we can prepare you our presentation deck, and so that you can use it in your own leisure. All right. Okay. Sorry, I seem to have some internet issue. Just give me a moment. Okay, so now this app will actually, the content can deliver to your student again through our Office 365 or even your own application. And the interactive tutor also assess the student answer to provide feedback to help augment the learning. So all this is automated. So the bot, or rather the AI, will curate, will read and learn from what you have done in your coursework, and it will prepare all the assessment and disseminate all this automatically to your student And when your student finish their assignment, it will evaluate, it will actually assess the accuracy of the assignment, and it can even give feedback. So all this will allows you to automate a lot of process, so the lecturer can focus on building more content and then reviewing the result of this assignment so that he can see how to assist the student individually. So we are bringing the openness of Google to the interactive tutor. So this function is available by API, so it can be integrated to your students in the tools that you have. And for example, in Workspace, you can actually use a Workspace to create something like this. So you see the Workspace AI tutor can actually scan through a document and advise the student, say, hey, please check the main thesis of this essay. Is your introduction, can you identify the main thesis, highlight the sentence and click next. So it will guide the student on their learning line by line by understanding the context of the essay that they provide. So this is something that we would like you to try to experience when you like to experience this particular services that we have. So currently the interactive tutor permits generating a 4-type assignment. So you can choose the fact, and this is where the tutor present a question with multiple choice, or you can do a paraphrasing practice, and where the tutor will present a text or context and ask the student to rephrase. This will test their understanding of the particular text. So knowledge notes as well. A tutor can present a high-level topic and ask the student to highlight the relevant point in the text and answer a question. So tutor can present a question that have one or more words as an answer. So let me just go through this. There is a demo session here. So I'm just going to play this video, and do enjoy.
This is the home screen of the Tutor app, a dashboard that allows the student to select which topic they wish to study with the tutor. The student would typically launch the tutor from the LMS, opening this window. On the left, the major topics for this course are displayed in a menu. This particular course is a competency-based course, so these topics are labeled as competencies. The tutor can also be configured to work with non-competency-based courses. In traditional courses, the tutor would be organized by key concept area or topic. In the dashboard area, the student can see their progress within the tutor on the sub-competencies. This helps the student tune their concept mastery and focus on areas where they need help. They select which sub-competency they wish to study and click on this button to enter the tutor. This is the main tutor screen. On the right is a chat area where the tutor prompts the student and the student can respond by typing. On the left is an area where the student can interact with the tutor or with learning content in various ways. Let's get started. First, I select which learning unit I wish to focus on within the tutor. These learning units are subtopics within this sub-competency as defined by the instructional designers for this course. The learning units are like traditional learning objectives, only more granular. Now the tutor is asking the student to pick one of two options for the learning flow in the tutor. In the first option, the tutor guides the student through various learning activities offered by the tutor. In the second option, the student can pick which activity they wish to engage in. We designed it this way to help orient the student up front, but then as they become more comfortable with the tutor, they can select the activity they prefer. We'll pick the second option now. Now you see the 4 different learning activities currently offered by the tutor. Each of these activities uses AI to generate the learning item, and also in some cases uses AI to evaluate the student response and provide feedback. Let's try choose the fact. You see a question generated by the AI, which the student answers to reinforce their learning on this learning unit. Now let's try create knowledge notes. The tutor asks me to select which learning materials contain the knowledge associated with the learning unit. Select the learning materials. I highlight the appropriate content to answer the question. Let's take a quick look at the paraphrase activity. I'm asked to write this sentence in my own words. The tutor uses AI to judge the quality of the paraphrase and give me feedback. Finally, let's try answer a question. The tutor generates a question based on the learning unit that I selected previously, also giving me a little bit of context from the learning content as a hint to help me answer the question. I also have access to the learning content, so I can look up the answer if I need to. Here is a different question on the same learning unit generated by the AI. The notes section of the tutor records all interaction between the tutor and the student, effectively guiding the student to create relevant notes and allowing the student to refer back to the interaction with the tutor and the learning activities later. This tutor is an initial prototype, but it shows the promise and potential of using AI to generate on-demand learning activities for students. One of the main challenges in creating educational content is the time and expertise it takes to write formative assessment. This tutor app shows that it is possible to use AI to generate such activities, opening the possibility for truly adaptive learning in which the tutor provides extra practice tailored to the student based on our knowledge of the student's mastery level and personal learning style.
Okay, right. So I hope this gives you some idea of how tutoring can help you. And again, the main idea is that this is not to replace the lecturer or teacher, but this is a tool to help the teacher or the professor to automate a lot of repetitive tasks so that the student can be able to access more frequently with these tools, and the lecturer or the university or the professor can view the performance of the student through our dashboard by collecting all this feedback. Okay. So let me just, I'm still typing on the chat. So sorry, because usually the key speaker, Cedric, will be the one doing the keynote speaking, and I'll be the one answering questions. I'm more on the technical side. Unfortunately, he's not around. So let me jump back here and there while I will respond to the chat room after I finish the presentation. And thank you for your patience.
This is the home screen of the tutor app, a dashboard that allows the student to select which topic they wish to study with it.
Right. This has been used by University of Walden and to create the AI-powered tutor built on Google Cloud. So this is a case study. So if you're wondering, hey, has this been done before or not? It has been done successfully on Walden University. And this is also a showcase. So if you'd like to know more about how this if it implemented in Walden, you can reach out to us later on. So this is Walden actually, how do I put it? They developed Julian. Actually, they call their AI tutor Julian. So you know, they give a nice name to a very loving name to the AI tutor. So this AI tutor bot, right? In the early development days, right? This AI tutor has been tested by many of the internal group of the Walden University. So the reason why I'm trying to explain this is that I would like you to experience this, and the best way you can experience this is actually engage Cedric, which is the key speaker after this, so we can see how can we help you to build this AI powered bot. Again, because every university is different. We don't believe that, hey, one template fit for all. So we would like to have an engagement with you. Now, based on this template that we have multiple sessions with Walden University to craft this particular AI tutor. And we would like to have this opportunity to work with you as well to craft this AI tutor within your own needs and wants and vision, so that this could be something that will fit your student and help you to scale up. Okay, so again, what we would like to do is also to support your student at scale in any language, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So this is a very grand a vision or grand dream. Imagine you have students all around the globe, and they have needs and wants. You know, sometimes if your office is off and a foreign student want to ask about, hey, I want to inquire about a particular course, or I want to inquire a particular kind of a services that you have. Imagine how difficult would it be that to run a 24-hour call center, or you had to wake up your staff at night just to answer some support issue. So Google's built this to allows you to scale globally. Now, because we use something called an AI chatbot to do this usually. So due to the time constraint and due to the speaker not around, so I will not be able to demonstrate a chatbot to illustrate how this speaking solution helps to automate some of the process. But let me just give you some highlight. This is some of the actionable insight that you can uncover for your learners. And because our student engagement and prediction algorithms, it actually allows you to visualize, let's just say, is there any particular class of a student having issue of learning? Do they need a particular support structure? So this will be shown in the dashboard, and this dashboard will allow the professor or support teams to understand that, hey, a lot of feedback or a lot of students struggles to, let's say, understand a particular coursework. Why is that? So with all this AI analytic as well as feedback from all these sources, whether it's from Workspace or the student experience chatbot, it creates a profile so that the teacher or the lecturer or the course planner will be able to identify the gap and to improve on that. Okay, so now take example James as a student academic advisor. He sees a list of at-risk students on his dashboard every day. So these are students that have already been nudged by the system in response to their observed academic achievement, and either haven't responded to the nudge or have continued to struggle despite responding to the nudge. Imagine now you have many students in the market in a university. So some of them having issue or difficulty at learning. So the solution will nudge them, will ping them, say, hey, would you need help on this particular subject? Do you need assistance on this particular course? Now, if after continuous reminder or nudge, the student is not responsive, and it will be flagged out or passed on to James, which is the academic advisor. So James can start to look at the dashboard to see each cases by opening the student profile. So once he read the profile, he can look at their PLP, which is their personal learning plan, and then he look at their mastery model and their learning style model. So this will determine what kind of learning style this particular student is based on the profile, and what kind of aspiration and all this and that. So let's say today first case, he noticed that the student has continuous struggle with writing assignment. Now, remember earlier, the AI tutor can have a lot of assignment created and then sent to the student. Let's just say after keep on repeating this assessment, a student continuously having struggle with a particular style in writing assignment, for example, and show that the low mastery level for a number of writing skills, maybe poor grammar, grasp of grammar, or poor use of words, for example. So despite this student being nudged to visit, let's say, a writing center to help him to improve, the student continue to struggle and struggle and struggle. So the James, he can set a flag for the student so that instead of the student instead of waiting for the student to go and visit the writing center, which is the tools to help them to improve their writing, the writing tutor, in a way, is a tutor built to assist on writing, can be assigned to him to assist on the particular student so that he can improve on his writing. Remember just now when I show you a Google Doc whereby there is a recommendation on how to write certain essay. So imagine this is what's been automatically assigned to this particular student, so that whenever he hits into this writing block, this writing tutor can be there to assist him on his learning journey. And right, this is another case study. Now using Grab On, it actually helps them to, this is more like to drive the learning experience. So I'm not going to go through this much detail. But what this solution is that you can check on the web, and yeah, it's more like a building relationship on your learning platform. So okay, so mental health is another kind of a self-tracking application for the mind that fosters human connection for collaboration. What does it mean is that the well-being of the student is important. So how do you collect all this information? We have our partners, which is called Project Hub. There is an application available there, so that these applications can help the student to feedback their sentiment. How did they cope with the courses, for example? Instead of having someone to answer helpline, which sometimes people are more shy of talking to a person, so they prefer to, hey, maybe I'll just submit my when the app can just check and say, hey, how do you feel about today, about the courses, about your lodging? So the student can use the app to fill in the requirement, their feedback, their sentiment, and from all this, right, it can actually be collected, and then there will be a support system assigned, so that if a student exhibits symptoms of depression, symptoms of, let's just say, needing help, in particular to new student, the solution can assist them to automate them, to link them to a support group, or even link them to a professional help group as well. So this is roughly how the solution goes. Right. I'm not going to go through this detail, so let me just skip this. So these are our customer and partners. Now, all the solution that you see earlier, right, is built by some of our partners, Learning-Mate, for example. So we actually has a lot of partners that will build the adapter, and this will allow integration. Let's just say if you have LMS running and you might wonder, hey, can my LMS talk to our learning platform? Chances are there is a partners already built the adapter. You can just link up your LMS to our solutions, and it's open source. Our solution is open source. So, and of course, there are a lot of use cases available. So I encourage you to reach out to us after the meeting, after this particular presentation, so that we can have a more in-depth session review, so that you can share with us your insight and your needs, so we can help you to see how can Google Learning Platform help you to scale as well. Okay. Right. So that comes with engagement point. We would like to start this journey with you together. So the first thing we would like to do, if you're interested, we can do a feasibility study. So this basically asks questions like, what is your current infrastructure looks like? Now, what kind of application that you have, and what is the integration that you would like to integrate, and do you like to replace some of the solution that you have or not? So of course, we also discuss about what is the total cost of ownership? Is there any saving from this particular exercise? And then we can also look at what is your current academic process looks like, what kind of evolution or transformation that you will need, and what kind of right step of implementation to ensure you get as much ROI as possible in the short term. Now, we don't just talk about long term, we talk about in all ways, because otherwise, if it's too long term, right, then you can't see the goal, right? So we plan out with you a short term goal as well as long term goal. And what is the right team to support this new operation model moving forward? Because this thing doesn't work without a team to support it. So we will work with your team to understand your infrastructure, and then how do you build what we call a cloud-centered excellent team, so that this team will be able to operate, advise you internally to see how can they scale. Now I see there's some question there. I will type along the way once I finish my presentation. Again, my apologies for this delay in answering the questions. Okay, so right, again, we have our partner called Learning-Mate. So this will be a partner that we can work with. Our recommendation to just choose an option that to give you only access to this technology. What does it mean is that we will have a list of partners for you to choose from. So let's just say if you like, say, hey, Google, can you help me to build this learning platform within my university? So we can provide you a list of partners and existing solutions, so you can see which partners offering matches best with your needs and wants. Now, a little bit of clarification. All these partners that we have it here build their solution on Google. So we encourage this partner lead initiative because this will create many variants of a solution that will help to meet more needs for many different universities. If everything is built by Google only, then there will be a lack of variety. So the partners will be able to help you to better scale up and better fit to your needs. Okay, so I'm just going to pause here a little bit now because this will be my last slide. Now, and to answer some of your questions, let me just look back some of the questions here. Okay, so I have answered the question from co-marker. So right, the interactive tutor means the student interact with AI. So the actual tutor can see the student interaction with AI. Yes, in actual fact, right, the lecturer or the tutor can actually detect how does the coursework looks. So the bot will basically curate what the tutor has been published, and from there creates the assessment. So in this case, what's the tutor, the automatic AI does not create content on the fly. It still will get the curate the data from the tutor. In this case, the tutor has how I put this way, has the is the determining factor of how does the assessment will look like. I hope that answered the questions. And can Google be embedded into other systems? For example, we already have our own e-learning system. So how to integrate Google into the system? Now, I mentioned earlier, Google has a lot of adapter. So if you can share with me your e-learning system, then we can see, is there a plugin or is there adapter readily available for you to just plug and play? If not, Google also comes with a lot of API. So many of our university has excellent developer, excellent programmer. So they can also use the API to do their own integration. Okay, can writing tutor assist in scientific writing or just English writing? Now, this is a difficult question to answer. I don't have the information for you right now. Right now, it's more on English writing. However, I do believe that we have many partners that they might have a model in particular to scientific writing. This, I can look at our repository of partners and link you to them. So a customized tutor can be developed based on your request. And for feasibility study, do we need to pay? The answer is no. So make use of us, get us into your campus, let us sit down with your team, and so that we can help to understand your solution better and help to see how can we offer our solution to help you. Okay, so that would be all from my presentation. And once again, thank you very much for inviting us to this call. And once again, my apologies for this lack of this change of speaker at the last minute. So I hope this Robin can still present, although the Batman is not here. And do rest assured, when you engage us in future, I will bring Cedric over also, we can better assist you on your journey. Thank you very much. Over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Stephen Lee. Yes, on behalf of the participant, I would say that Robin has done a fantastic job. So thank you very much in really enlightening us on how Google Cloud can assist the institution and also to the educators on how can we better cater and innovate our teaching and learning so that we can cater to the future of our generation of learners, right? The learning dynamics is changing and we as educators should also be able to adapt. And I believe Google Cloud or Google basically could support us in that transition and transformation. So if any of the participants do have questions, Mr. Stephen Lee, do you mind sharing the contact details? So if any of the participants would like to get in touch with your team, would that be possible?
No problem. Why don't I just share my contact here? Anything, just feel free
Yes,
to
sure.
ping me. So right, just give me a moment.
Yeah, so you just can put the details in the chat box. That will be much appreciated. So ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up on the industry virtual sharing sessions that we have for today. And on behalf of the committee, I would like to extend our utmost gratitude to Stephen, despite not having his Batman, has really shown us the importance and the support that Google could render to us in transforming our education. So thank you very much once again from the organizing committee, and to all the participants, thank you for joining us today. And I hope that there is more workshops, there's more, do go and venture into the IUCEL town in Gather Town, and yeah, and go and check out the posters that are available. So thank you very much once again. Have a good day and stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.